This episode of Off The Script is brought to you by WrestleCrate. WrestleCrate is a monthly pro wrestling-based subscription service, and each month, subscribers will receive a new pro wrestling-themed mystery crate. To go and subscribe, please go and visit their website at www.wrestlecrate.com and on Twitter at WrestleCrates. What is going on, guys? JD from New York here, and this is WWE Off The Script, episode number 63. Part number 3 to close out your weekend for May 3rd, 2015. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Off The Script, the number one fucking source for WWE news, rumors, reviews, and 2K15 content right here on YouTube.com. Thank you so much, like I said, for joining me on Sunday, guys. It's been a very, very difficult time to find news and rumors, man. This is a very slow period, especially for WWE. And it kind of filters into the rest of the news and rumors, man, because there's nothing really going on that's going to grab a headline. You're not going to be interested in what I got to talk about if it's slow, okay? Because I know you guys want the big stories, you guys want the juicy gossip, and I just don't seem to have that on Sunday. I don't seem to have that today. So it was very difficult for me to pull news and rumors here and there and give you guys something that's going to be entertaining and newsworthy. So I'm going to start off with Billy Corgan. Billy Corgan, now a part of TNA Creative. I'm going to talk about that in a second. But if you guys missed Off The Script on Friday and Saturday, links are down below in the description of this video. Please go and check them out. I talk about Jeff Hardy breaking his leg and will be out for the remainder of the year due to a dirt bike accident. I give you guys my opinion and the new story on that. And yes, it is true. Some of you guys in the comment section, JD, is this real? Is this fake? It is absolutely real. Jeff Hardy now is going to be out for the rest of the year. And then Hulk Hogan confirming down in Australia with Mouth of the South Jimmy Hart that he will be at WrestleMania 32 in some way, shape, or form. And he wants to be there to compete in the ring. And he even told Vince McMahon that he wants to be in the ring at WrestleMania. And Vince McMahon went on to say, I'll see you there. You know, there are a lot of news stories going around Hulk Hogan or revolving around Hulk Hogan wanting to wrestle one more time, who his opponent might be. I give you guys my opinion on that. I give you guys my full story on that in part 2 of Off The Script. So if you missed that, thanks to YouTube now pushing it through your sub boxes, please go and check that down below in the description of this very video. If you guys are not following me on Twitter and you do want to keep up to date on everything, at JD from NY206, and all the rest of my social media links right there on the layout of Off The Script. Now that I got all that bullshit out of the way, let's get right into the news stories, guys. Billy Corgan, gonna start off. Billy Corgan, if you don't know who he is, he's the lead singer for the Smashing Pumpkins. Not my cup of tea when it comes to music. I don't like that kind of music at all. I'm not a fan of the Smashing Pumpkins either. But you gotta respect Billy Corgan's passion for professional wrestling, and this is why all this is coming to be now for TNA. His position starts immediately effective, and he will be responsible for creating storylines for TNA's flagship program, Impact Wrestling, which airs on Destination America and which airs in over 120 different countries. Revealing his excitement about his new job, Billy said, and I quote, saying, "I'm humbled and honored by this opportunity to be part of TNA, a world-class wrestling organization, is an understatement and a dream come true. What's great is the entire TNA organization stands in full support of my music life with the Smashing Pumpkins. In return, I'm fully committed to using my 30 years of entertainment experience, along with my deep-rooted passion for professional wrestling, to take on the thrilling challenge of creatively giving to Impact Wrestling, finding and developing new talent, and working eye to eye with the best of the best. As for cultures currently evolving at great speed, so must pro wrestling, and it must meet and supersede such expectations to thrive in today's market." TNA Dixie Carter cannot wait for Billy Corgan to get to work on the TV show and is confident he has many ideas that can revolutionize their wrestling product. I do not think Billy Corgan is going to revolutionize anything, but it's a nice get for Impact Wrestling. In a statement, she said, and I quote, "I've known Billy for years and have always been blown away by his musical artistry, as well as his knowledge and understanding of professional wrestling. He has always impressed me with his creativity and passion for our business. Billy is truly gifted and understands the emotion tied to the psychology of connecting with an audience. The more we talked, the more I realized his perspective has the potential to make a huge impact for our brand." Corgan joins the creative team headed by TNA Executive Vice President of Television and Talent Relations John Gaborik and will attend TV tapings. He will be working with TNA's impressive roster of wrestlers, which includes TNA World Champion Kurt Angle, Jeff Hardy, and his brother Matt Hardy, MVP Gail Kim, and Bobby Roode. Speaking of Jeff Hardy, part 1 of Off the Script goes in depth, like I said, about his dirt bike accident. Yes, it was real, and I got the full story on that if you guys did miss that in part 1. Corgan has been a lifelong wrestling fan, and in 2011, he formed his own promotion, Resistance Pro Wrestling, which puts on the events around Chicago, and he left the company in 2014. Now, my opinion on this, I do think it's a good get for TNA, okay? I do think TNA is going outside the box here. I do think TNA doesn't know what to do, okay? Getting Billy Corgan, who's got such knowledge for professional wrestling as a fan, okay? He's got really no knowledge of what the business does or how the business is run. He's a fan. He's like me, except I'm not a star. I'm not a lead singer for the Smashing Pumpkins. He's like me. It's like TNA getting me and putting me to work for TNA Creative. He's got he's got a fan's mentality, and he's got the ideas of a traditional wrestling fan, and he's going to be bringing that to TNA. Might that do good? Of course. Of course, I wish WWE would take some roots and use some fan knowledge to get, storylines and angles across on TV. I would love to see that happen. Instead of sitting in a fucking room with 25 guys who have absolutely no voice, who don't know anything about the fucking product or the wrestlers that are on the roster, and every idea is going to be shot down by Triple H and Vince McMahon and Stephanie McMahon because, whether it's good or bad, it all has to get approved by Vince. Vince is still in charge. I could see TNA creatively working more cohesively as a unit, as a team. But Billy Corgan, I don't think he's going to come in and revolutionize anything. I don't think he's going to come in and change the way TNA is doing business. I don't think he's going to make an impact to the point where, people are going to flock over to Destination America and start watching TNA. I think he's going to bring some solid ideas. He's going to bring a fan's perspective, a fan's mentality to the product, and it's going to be fresh. Whether or not his ideas get across on TV and make it to TV and are approved, it remains to be seen. But it is a good get for TNA because he does bring that star power with him. He is, a lead singer for the Smashing Pumpkins. Obviously, they're a well-known musical act. How this all pans out for TNA, it remains to be seen. But I think it is a good get. It's got the, it opens the door for TNA to be more refreshing. So, like I said, he's going to bring a new perspective to the product, to the creative team, a fan's mentality, a fan's perspective. I like that. I wish WWE would go that route. But all this, like I said, remains to be seen. I wish Billy Corgan the best in his future endeavors there. And I wish I could be part of a creative team for a major organization, man. I got a lot of good ideas. Even though I don't watch TNA, man, I could quickly get on that boat and give you guys compelling television if I was to be any part of a creative team. I would love that, man. That would be my dream job, to be in there and just creatively writing and just coming up with storylines and working with the wrestlers. That would be fucking great. So Billy Corgan's got a nice gig, man. He's got his musical act, the Smashing Pumpkins, and now he's working with TNA. So he's got things made, and I wish him luck down in TNA, and I hope things go well, and it's going to be interesting to see what he can bring to the table creatively from an outside perspective, not being in TNA and just being a fan of the product. It's going to be interesting to see. So we'll see what's going on with that. Obviously, if I hear anything regarding storylines through Corgan's mind and eyes, I will let you guys know right here on Off the Script, all right? Several news articles that really aren't, leading titles, but they are important nonetheless. There continues to be more and more discussions about aligning Bray Wyatt with Bo Dallas. There are talks right now which have been preliminary in nature, but it's interesting because when they were first brought up from developmental, there was a clear edict to keep them away from one another at all costs. Now, I don't know how well this is going to play out unless you want to completely scrap the Bo Dallas idea of the Tim Tebow gimmick, being the preacher-like character and then, just kind of flipping a switch and just becoming mental and fucking psychotic and just violent and brutal. That's what I want, man. I want a violent side to Bo Dallas. I think he's got the skills. I think he's got to work on his body type a little bit too, man. He's a little chunky. And I know there were rumors going around that people were making fun of him about his weight, about his physique. So he's got to work on that, man. You know, Bray Wyatt's a big guy, but he's fucking muscle. He's strong. He's not fat at all. I wouldn't call him overweight. Bray Wyatt is huge. He's got a lot of muscle on him. Bo Dallas, you can see, excuse me, I don't know what's going on with my allergies this morning. But Bo Dallas, as you can see, you know, he needs to work on his physique a little bit. But if you want to align Bo Dallas with Bray Wyatt, I think you're going to have to completely scrap that whole Tim Tebow type gimmick. So I don't know what's going on with that. I think Bray Wyatt is best alone right now. But Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt working together, being that they're brothers, does serve to be an interesting idea. How WWE is going to work around that, I don't know. We know Bo Dallas is feuding with Ryback for the last couple of weeks. Bray Wyatt is going to get into a feud with Ryback. So we don't know where this is going to go, but hopefully WWE knows what they're doing with Bo Dallas. I would like to see him be a successful mid-card character for now on WWE TV. But if they're going to align him with Bray Wyatt, that's immediately going to change the entire perspective of his character, and it's going to change the entire perspective of fans, the way they view Bo Dallas. So it could be interesting to see. The plan after Raw was to pair Roman Reigns with Kane. Please, I have enough fucking problems watching WWE Raw. Roman Reigns paired with Kane, please. So there was the idea or a plan after Raw to pair Roman Reigns with Kane because Vince McMahon felt Kane was getting over. He's not getting over, Vince. I don't know what the fuck you're watching. Nobody wants to see Kane on WWE TV. So Vince felt Kane was getting over and wanted to keep developing the character. Why? How many times have you developed the Kane character, man? With mask, without the mask. With mask, without the mask. In a suit, with the mask, without the mask. How many fucking times? Really? Nobody cares about Kane. Retire. Seriously. This was changed, and the plans to program Reigns and Kane into a triple threat match for the WWE World Championship were scrapped. So there you have that, okay? Thank fucking God. Some officials like the idea of the New Day defending the WWE Tag Team Championship in any two-man combination under the Freebird rule. This is part of the reason why they were given the Tag Team Championships. Excellent fucking match at Extreme Rules. If you guys missed it, WWE Network for $9.99. Go and watch it. It was the best match on the card. According to sources, Dean Ambrose hasn't complained at all about his current status in WWE, but there are a few workers that have vocally expressed he's been underutilized. The narrative is that his character has been directionless for quite some time. Really now? I really wish WWE Creative and Vince and Triple H would see that there's no direction for Dean Ambrose, and people love him, people want to see him, people cheer for him. He's must-see, all right? That whole thing where he was just being fucking silly towards the later part of 2014 going into 2015, man, that was fucking awful. Absolutely awful. Dean Ambrose needs to be a fucking rebel. Fucking go in there, kick ass, be fucking psychotic, a loose cannon like Brian Pillman was. Just let him go out there and have a fucking plan for him, and he's too talented to be wasted. Too talented to be wasted, man. Meaningless feuds with Luke Harper, fucking meaningless feuds with Wade Barrett, stealing the title, and, you know, he moves on from John Cena to Wade Barrett to fucking Bray Wyatt. Oh, there's no direction, man. He's all over the fucking place. He's all over the place. So, hopefully, WWE hears the whisperings in the locker room and realizes, you know what? Dean Ambrose is underutilized. I really wish Dean Ambrose was used a lot more and in some prominent roles on TV, but that's up to WWE. They want to keep him directionless. They're wasting a huge talent right now in Dean Ambrose. Speaking of former Shield members, Seth Rollins, curb stomp, no more. To put a bow around the Seth Rollins finisher story, the change was made because Vince McMahon didn't like the curb stomp. He started to voice his displeasure more and more over the last couple of months when Rollins was doing stuff with Brock Lesnar. Vince hated the visual of Lesnar having to lay there like an idiot. This is what the report said, folks, and I quote, lay there like an idiot, waiting each time Rollins had to give him the curb stomp. Vince put his foot down, no pun intended, after WrestleMania 31 and gave the edict that Rollins needed a new finisher ASAP. Once Vince makes his mind up about something, it's tough to talk him out of it. He does have a point, though, about the move requiring a guy to already have been knocked out by something else first, and it really limited the booking of some of his finishes, especially for a guy that Vince views as someone that should be stealing wins, winning out of nowhere. It's also true about wanting a move that was more versatile, concerns about concussion, concerns about the move being related to street violence, etc. But the main point was, Vince didn't like it, and he wanted it changed. There you go, folks. There you go. What did I say about creative and everything going through Vince McMahon? Everything goes through Vince McMahon. So you fans of the curb stomp, you can blame Vince McMahon. Vince didn't want it. Vince didn't like it. Changed right after WrestleMania 31. That's why the curb stomp is no more. Yes, there are tie-ins about concussions, about concerns about street violence and being related to street violence. All it came down to was Vince didn't like it. Simple. You're not going to argue that. You can't argue that. I just wish that Seth Rollins comes up with a better finisher than what we've seen. Okay, I don't like that DDT finisher. Too similar to Dean Ambrose. We got too many fucking DDTs going around in the WWE. We don't need another DDT type finisher, okay? Seth Rollins needs something that's going to gravitate to the audience, that's going to be picked up by the audience like the curb stomp was, man. It was unique, okay? It was different. You didn't see that in WWE. Vince McMahon didn't like it. And I do understand laying there like an idiot, waiting for someone to fucking just smash your head into the mat. I understand that. But it was known by Rollins. People automatically associated that with Seth Rollins. Now we got to have a difficult time of getting used to something else that Rollins is going to finish his matches with. But Vince didn't like it, and I gave you a full story on this. It's not, I don't think it's going to be banned completely. I still don't think it's going to be banned completely. I really don't. Vince didn't like it, so he said, you know what, let's get rid of it. I do think WWE is going to tease it, okay? I think we're going to see, you know, dashes here and there of the curb stomp. I really do. I don't think it's going to be banned completely. I think he's going to tease it here and there just to get a storyline over. You know, to even put the kibosh, a nice stamp on a storyline. I think he may pull it out of the bag once in a blue just to get the severity of an angle over, to make the angle more serious, you know, a little bit more personal, to build storyline, to build drama for the angle. I do think that's going to happen, but as of right now, Vince doesn't like it, and he wants Rollins with a new finisher, and that's that, man. You're not going to argue with Vince McMahon, all right? What else do I got here? I got news on more Ronda Rousey news. I know I've been talking about this, but it's in the news, and Stephanie McMahon was on the fucking podcast with Chris Jericho. Well, WWE has long-term plans for Ronda Rousey to work WrestleMania 32. When she made a surprise appearance at WrestleMania 31, those plans may have been put on the back burner. In a recent interview with UFC President Dana White, he stated that Rousey will not wrestle a match for WWE. His words reportedly stunned a number of WWE officials who thought Rousey was part of the WWE family. WWE, she's not part of your family. She's contracted under Dana White and UFC. So that is kind of fucking silly of you guys to think of Ronda Rousey as part of the WWE family. She's a fucking fan just like everybody else. Like, she's not part of the family yet, anyway. A recent edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter from Dave Meltzer has provided more information on how WWE was caught off guard by Dana White's comments. The impression within WWE was that Rousey would be involved with WWE in some fashion in 2016. Whether or not she wrestled, now her WWE status is in question. Following White's one-and-done remark that I reported last Sunday, WWE reportedly went as far as to make video packages with Rousey involved for future use. Additionally, on Thursday, April 30th, during a live WWE event, which aired on the network Talk is Jericho with Stephanie McMahon, WWE wanted to mention Rousey. However, following White's comments, the company did not use the podcast to plant seeds for McMahon versus Rousey like it had hoped. Stephanie McMahon pretty much said, you know, anything can happen. She went that route. Anything can happen in WWE, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So they are still holding out hope that Rousey will be in WWE. Still, WWE remains optimistic, like I said. The belief within the company is that there is still a lot of time to resolve any disputes. As noted, WWE may use Hell in a Cell to further any storylines regarding Ronda Rousey and WrestleMania 32 going on into April 2016. That's all I got about that. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. If I do hear more news, anything different, anything more important, I will definitely let you guys know. But I do think WWE is going to write a nice big fat check to Dana White to get what they want for WrestleMania 32. So Vince is gonna pull out all the stops, I know, but you know, it's a little bit too early to be talking about this. Oh, everybody's on the fucking Ronda Rousey bandwagon. You know, will she be at WrestleMania? It's too fucking early, man. We're in May 2015. We got a year to go for WrestleMania 32. Let it simmer. Let's not talk about it anymore. Things will change come January 2016. For sure. It's guaranteed. So right now it's a little bit too early. WWE's getting their hopes up a little bit too early, man. But, You know, it's silly to think about, but then you can't blame them. They want things solidified now for WrestleMania. WrestleMania 32 is going to be the biggest show of all time. You need things in place. You need to be planned now for WrestleMania 32. So, come January 2016, I may be sitting in this very seat talking about the same fucking thing, man. Ronda Rousey in WWE. You know, we may be thinking something completely different come January 2016. The tides may be changed come January 2016. Ronda Rousey may be in WWE. Ronda Rousey may be allowed by Dana White to work WWE. We don't know, but right now, it's too soon, okay? This week, it was noted Jeff Jarrett was going all in on attempting to bring in talent for Global Force Wrestling and its upcoming live television tapings in Las Vegas. He has been going after several WWE and TNA talent, trying to bring some name recognition to the brand in order to bring the best product to life. In an update, it appears Jarrett has secured a famous wrestling name as his first officially advertised talent for the promotion. Legendary manager and promoter Jim Cornette announced on his podcast he has signed with the organization to be part of its Grand Slam Tour events in Tennessee in June. They will occur June 12th and 13th in Jackson and Knoxville, respectively. Jarrett will also be throwing out the first pitch per PW Insider at the Mississippi Braves minor league game Friday night, which just passed. This will be where GFW will be holding a live event on June 20th. It is unknown at this time if Cornette will stay with GFW past the live event tour, but it's certainly a possibility. Cornette has worked with Jarrett multiple times in his career, including his time in WWE and TNA. More on Global Force Wrestling. GFW owner and former WWE, WCW, NWA, and TNA superstar Jeff Jarrett is going after former talent, like I said, for Global Force Wrestling. As previously reported, GFW is set to begin holding shows in minor league baseball stadiums throughout June, leading up to the company's upcoming broadcast television event on July 24th. While details may have been dropping about GFW Grand Slam, the televised event from Las Vegas on July 24th has been announced, and there has been little to no information released in regards to what talent will be working the show. According to the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Jarrett is going after well-known talent that isn't under contract with Ring of Honor or WWE. Former stars such as WWE, ECW, and TNA Tag Team Champions Team 3D, the Dudley Boys, former IC Champions Shelton Benjamin, and former WWE superstar Chris Masters, among others. Meltzer writes, and I quote, Jarrett has been contacting talent as of late. We don't know all the people contacted, but if guys are good and not under contract with Ring of Honor or TNA, or guys whose contracts he knows are expiring, those are the guys he's going after. We've heard mixed bags on pay, okay? Scott D'Amore and Sanjay Dutt are working with Jarrett from an office capacity as well. Dutt has been calling talent. Jarrett has offered at least some talent the possibility of 39 dates, although the company has noted they've got the 12 dates confirmed, which were announced, and the other 27 are dates not yet confirmed. They are not calling a ton of people. Pretty much the guys in Ring of Honor without a contract are the key names we've heard, with Roderick Strong being the biggest name out of the group. Other names we heard talked about include Team 3D, Shelton Benjamin, and Chris Masters. A key to this is going to be whether Jarrett or Ring of Honor winds up with a New Japan connection, because a lot of the talent wants to go to New Japan and will align with whichever company can get them there the smoothest. GFW, man, going to be interesting. I hope GFW solidifies some kind of television deal and we can see it on cable companies across North America. I would definitely be interested in checking that out. I watched some of the New Japan pay-per-view that they were affiliated with. It was very good. I didn't watch all of it because I just didn't have time and I was just too lazy to go back to it. But I know you guys are going to tell me, JD, you got to watch. You know, you should be watching other products besides WWE. You're missing out on a ton of shit. I know. Okay? I just don't have the time, and, you know, mixed with YouTube and everything I'm doing on the gaming side, I just don't have much time. So WWE right now is all I could do. But I do wish Jeff Jarrett the best of luck. This sounds very interesting. I do hope, like I said, they do, you know, nail a television deal so we can see this in North America. Jim Cornette working is a huge get for Jeff Jarrett. Anybody he brings on in there, it's going to be interesting to see, man. There's a lot of great free agent talent out there. So I do think Jeff Jarrett, with his mind for the business and his creativity, he's going to put on one hell of a fucking show. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going on with that. But he is out there trying to get any big name guy not associated with Ring of Honor and WWE. I don't blame him. He wants to make these shows must-see, and I hope we get to see them here in North America. That is all I got for Off the Script, guys. Going to be a relaxing Sunday. If you did enjoy, let me know what you think down below. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed today's episode. If you missed all my other episodes, links are down below. If you guys want more wrestling content, Joe Cronin Show, his Twitter and his YouTube link down below. LeBar, Eisenberg, and Ghoulish, Chairshot Reality at WrestleZone.com, their homepage link down below, as well as their YouTube page. If you guys want more LeBar, his personal website link down below. And of course, the fine people over at Wrestle Crates, man. You got today only. Enter the code JDSENTME at checkout for an instant 10% off on your first Wrestle Crate for May 2015. Today is the last day only. If you want to go visit and sign up, www.wrestlecrate.com, and visit them on Twitter at WrestleCrates and tell them that JD from NY sent you, man. I'll see you guys back here on Friday for episode number 64 of Off the Script. If Monday Night Raw is good, I will do a review. If not, do not expect it in your sub boxes. Until then, guys, thank you for watching. This is JD. This is Off the Script, the #1 fucking source for WWE news and rumors right here on YouTube.com. And like I said, I'll see you Friday for Off the Script number 64. Until then, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great weekend. I'll see you later.